We'd like to welcome everyone back to the Ken Patterson Infield Media Center at the Talladega Superspeedway for the 7th Annual Talladega County Coaches Association High School Football Media Day. Up next, we have the Munford High School Lions with head coach Bill Smith. Representing the Lions today, we have Pernell Mitchell, Cam Lemons, and Peyton Graben. The Lions will open up the season at home on August 24th against Oxford.
Coach, just talk about this summer and players you got with you.
Well, it's sort of been summer of adversity. So it's, one thing that you always know is going to stay the same is things don't stay the same. I lost Daryl LeBeau, who's like a brother to me. He's an offensive coordinator for me for 2 seasons at Shades Valley and all 3 seasons at Munford. And we're happy for him. He got the head coaching job at Pleasant Grove, which was his alma mater. It happened late, really the first week in June is when it became official. But we're happy for him in that new role and new assignment in his life. Right after that happened, Coach Chandler Tyree, my defensive coordinator for the last 3 years, announced that he was going full-time ministry with Antioch Baptist Church. And so there's been some changes. I've been able to get some good new coaches. I had to shift some things within my coaching staff, but overall we've had a great summer, and adversity brings forth character or reveals character. And I've got 3 young men with me right now that are all 3 are leaders, high character. They exemplify leadership in the weight room and in the classroom and in their communities. And Cam Lemons is a 2-year starter for us at safety, and he's sort of the back end captain of our defense. And the other person I brought from our defense, Pernell Mitchell, on the far left is our Mike linebacker, and they both of those guys do a great job of leadership on the defensive side. And Peyton Graben is back to anchor our offensive line at center, and he does an outstanding job there. So I'm surrounded by 3 outstanding young men today.
Just talk about this year, Coach. You're going in, you got to replace some seniors, got to replace some transfers. Just talk about the guys you have on this team.
Well, our motto is just next man up, and so these guys have got a lot of starts under their belt. We've got quite a few other guys that have playing experience and have started in a number of games, but we're in uncharted waters in 5A, and I joke about probably being the only 5A school in the state with no permanent red light, but it is what it is. We're in 5A North, and we feel like that it's probably, I think, from top to bottom, the most competitive 5A region in the state. When we first got the news that we were going 5A North, I had a preconceived idea, kind of happy about it, Levante, to be quite honest with you. Then found out that Central Clay County is going to be in there, so it's a large swath across the state, going from Central Clay County, Sylacauga, all the way to Mortimer, Jordan. You throw in a Center Point and a Moody and a Springville, St. Clair County, and us. And I don't know if I'm leaving somebody out, but it's an 8-team region, and feel like it's very competitive week in and week out. It's going to be anybody can win, I think, on any given night. So we'll have to play well every Friday night.
Bill, Blake Snyder you brought in as one of the assistants.
Yes.
Plains, right? Is Burgess going to do anything for you for football, the new baseball guy?
Right now, we're still in negotiations. So we're still talking.
The linebacker guy, weren't you talking to somebody?
I have been. I've got Derek Stevens is going to be joining us and going to be coaching linebackers. I'm shifting around, and you previously mentioned Blake Snyder has been at White Plains, and he played offensive line at Florida State, and his wife has been our trainer for the last 2 years, and so we feel like that's a good fit for us. And Coach Snyder will be run game coordinator, and I'll resume passing game coordinator. And Wes Johnson is joining us, and he's been at Vincent. He's from Munford, and he's been at Vincent. He's going to be coaching our wide receivers. I'm still hoping to get a volunteer assistant to help us with the offense, but that's yet to be determined. And I've moved. Daryl Smith is been an offensive line coach for us this past year, did an outstanding job. But he's got more experience on the defensive side of the ball, so he's going to be co-coordinator with Coach Graves. Charles Graves did an outstanding job with us last year with the defensive backs, our secondary. So he'll be on the back end coordinating. The front seven coordinating will be Darryl Smith. So I feel like our staff is strong. First of all, they're good men, and I'd rather have good men than guys that have a great track record with X's and O's that have questionable character. And so I love these guys. And when you have to spend the kind of hours that we're about to have to spend together to make sure that these young men are put in great positions, great chances to succeed. You want good people that you don't mind spending a lot of time around.
I'll ask you, I asked everybody else. Did you buy the instant replay stuff? I think Munford's a big enough school that could probably do it. Have you done it?
To be honest, we have not. There's some pros and cons with the instant replay. A lot of things that we would like to have instant replay for can't be reviewed. When you get that third, fourth, fifth holding call, that's, interference calls, holding calls, those things can't be reviewed anyway. And to be honest with you, we've put a lot of money. We have a new weight room. I want to thank Mr. Griff Hill and the central office and Dr. Lacey and Mr. Cunningham. And, they have helped us, with some flooring and with some other expenses that have gone into this weight room. But, we're excited about it. It's top notch, and $16,000 for equipment, and we put $15,500 in new jerseys, Under Armour jerseys, and so we've right now we're kind of at a position we've got to have some really good gates, and so right now we have not gone with the instant replay.
Is it 16 and 15.5, or is 15.5 the jersey number rounded up to 16?
It's about 15.5 on jerseys and about 16.5 on weight equipment.
Like 32,000 altogether, I think.
A little less than 32.
Well, you got a chance to get a good gate in your season opener, though, don't you? With the Oxford people come.
We feel like that'll be, and that was really the thing that sold me on the. I've been wanting to have a new weight room for 3 years. 3 years and 3 months I've been at Munford, and it was time. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to play Oxford, but we couldn't find a 10th game, and it had gotten late in the game, and they only have 9 games. They couldn't find a 9th game, and so Coach Herring and I got together and we scheduled it. And I said, if we're going to play, we've got to play at our place this year. And so we knew we needed some financial help with that, and it's really been a godsend as far as that's concerned.
And then the second one, you're playing Talladega, so that's another good game.
It is.
You got a couple of good home game games that should help you.
It is.
Cut that nut off.
It really is. Just going back to something that was mentioned a little bit earlier ago, we were 4A South, and in that we felt like that was the toughest. I think you can make an argument for the last 3 years that it's overall in 3 years it's been the toughest region, 4A South. 3 years in a row, the state champion came out of our region with Leeds and Hanley, and but there was a lot of driving. Even in region games, we had a lot of driving of several teams in the Wetumpka area, and so our furthest game this year is going to be probably Moody and St. Clair County. So that'll be our farthest game. So that's going to help out with expenses. And, our 3 non-region games are all within 20 minutes of each other. And we've got Oxford, which is 10 minutes away. We got Talladega, which is about 12 to 13 minutes away. And Lincoln. So those are our 3 non-region games. So we're excited about those. We feel like that every week is going to be high attendance, a lot of excitement. And so, we're just excited about the year, which is right around the corner.
Coach, in years you seem to always reload. You always have a solid quarterback, solid skills. Just talk about this group you have this year.
Well, right now we're going to be depending on a 10th grader at quarterback, Jocelyn Tuck, which I call him Jay Tuck, and that's he's known by most of his teammates as Jay. But he had an outstanding summer. He's going he's going to be really good, and I'm excited about him. We're going to try to bring him on slow and not put too much on him to start out the year in such high-profile games. But he's going to be a good young man, a good quarterback for us. And I've been fortunate enough ever since 2000, when I started coaching spread offenses with Perry Swindle at Russellville, to have good quarterbacks. And we feel like the system is quarterback friendly. We feel like that we're able to adapt it. Some people say, what kind of spread offense do you run? Do you run the spread? Do you run this? Do you run that? Well, I think the trick for any head coach or any coordinator is to adapt the offense or defense around the personnel. We're going to have to play quite a few guys both ways, and all three of these guys are going to be playing 5A football and have to go quite a bit both ways. And so we've got to be in shape. One of the reasons that we feel like that we're able to play at a high level year in and year out is our commitment to the weight room. And so we believe in the weight room. We believe in strength and conditioning, and body mass increases during the off-season, strength increases, and there's a close correlation with speed. Obviously, a lot of that is natural ability, but a lot of folks don't realize their potential, and so we feel like the off-season is for getting these guys to their God-given potential.
What's the goal for this year, Coach?
Well, since we're like I said, we're in uncharted waters. I've coached in 6A, I've coached in 5A, I've coached in 4A. My first head coaching job was in 3A. So, but we're not familiar with a lot of these opponents, and very few of them, quite frankly, have I played or even these young men played. So, our goal is every week to play our best, and we want to make the playoffs. And we want to see how far we can go in the playoffs. And right now, that's really what we're focused on.
Talk about your defense. You got Purdue, you have Jay, you have Sistrom. You have those guys that they were like they were a major part of last year's defenses, which was really great.
Well, right now we've got a really good linebacking core coming back. Perdell Mitchell is going to be a 3-year starter for us at Mike linebacker. He's got a Jacksonville State University offer, and his leadership and ability to be physical and anchor our defense is awesome. Alongside of our linebackers, we have Justin Sistrunk, who you mentioned. We also have Rodney Gross. Both of those guys on the outside. Lance Smith right now would be a first-year starter for us. He'll be a junior, and he'll be a solid player for us. Cam, on my right here, is outstanding safety and really kind of quarterbacks the back end of our defense. And Kyle Ross, in our two-shell look, also rolls down some at strong safety. Has really good speed. He has an Alabama A&M offer. And we feel like our safeties and our linebackers by far are our strong suit. We have a lot of inexperience on the defensive line. Michael Armstrong will be back for us, but we're going to have to play 5, 6, 7 guys that anchor our 3-man front. So we're going to keep fresh bodies in. Some will be offensive linemen. We're going to have to rotate a lot of bodies in. Peyton Graveman, who anchors our offensive line, I had to play some defensive line, and so we feel like we've got some question marks, obviously, but we feel like that we've got a strong group coming back defensively. And defensively, we're going to have to be exceptional to bring on, because we got a lot of fresh names and fresh starters on the offensive side of the ball. We feel like we got some playmakers, but we're going to need to play solid and hang our hat on defense in these first early games.
You talked about your linebackers and secondary. Those guys have had a really good summer. They picked up a lot of offers with Gross and Mitchell and everybody else. Just talk about what they're able to do, Coach. They're making names for themselves out there.
Well, it's my commitment. I've told these guys that's when I got there a little over 3 years ago that I'm going to do everything I can to help them develop spiritually, physically, in their educationally. But I am going to promote them. I'm going to go to camps. I email college coaches. I go to camps with them. I promote them. I'm going to do everything I can to help them. Not every player has the ability to play college football, and not every college football has the ability to play SEC or Division I football. But, I feel like all three of these guys are going to have a chance to play at some level. And to be honest, Cam should already have numerous offers, and his offers are going to come. But I tell him almost daily, we have to have a commitment to each other and to Munford football to be the best we can as a team, and then those offers are going to come. And so, we went to a lot of camps early, and June is kind of the time. I carried a young man, Justin Sistrunk, to a UAB camp. He was offered by UAB earlier in the week, and so I carried him to a camp, and he participated in that, did a great job. Rodney and Justin, my two outside linebackers, they're at Southern Miss camp today. They both have Southern Miss offers. And so all of that is great and awesome, and I'm for them, and I push for that, and I pull for that. But on Friday night at 7 o'clock, it really doesn't matter how many offers you got. You got to play for your brothers. You got to play for your team. You got to play for your community. And sometimes the most talented team does not win. Sometimes the team that has the most collective offers doesn't win. And so I'm excited about these guys, just the way that they play unselfishly. And so that's really a mark of this team. We're not going to dress out 78 like I did my first year. And right now we got 56. And those are good numbers. We don't have to dress out 75, 78. My second year at Crossville, we had a good season. I dressed out 26. We had 9 to go both ways. So we'll have to adapt. Having guys go both ways, I may not can play as fast as I want to play, especially early on with heat index 100 degrees. So we'll adapt, and we'll try to do the best, put these guys in a position to be successful.
Guys, just talk about what you want to accomplish this year and just playing for Munford. I know you guys have pride in playing for Munford.
Let's direct that. We'll start with Peyton Graven on that.
Obviously the main goal is state championship, but like Coach said, new waters. So 1-0. Let's start out 1-0 and go from there.
Just building a bond with my brothers. Something that we can live on forever. That's mainly what I think about.
Just proving to ourselves that we can do it, not to everybody else, but prove it to ourselves and not being the hype.
Coach Smith, I was at the spring practice that you had a couple months ago. So you had some linemen that you were working into the rotation. One of the guys, I think, 6'3", 280. I'm trying to recall his name.
Trayvon McClendon.
Where is he going to play out on the line?
He's going to be a two-way player for us, but he's going to, right now, he's playing offensive tackle, and he may end up, we're going to evaluate where he needs to play to be more used in the run game, and he may play him at guard, but he's a definite starter, and he's a big, strong, physical guy, and good in the classroom, outstanding young man, and we're fortunate to have him on our team. But he'll also play some defensive line for us.
And I was just trying to see if he played the blind side, protected the blind side of the quarterback that you'll have in.
He's played some right tackle. He's played some left tackle. To be honest with you, Blake Snyder and I right now we're just sort of juggling, trying to find the best combination, the best 5 guys right there. And we've got about 6 or 7 guys that are really competing for starting positions on the offensive line.
Coach, talk about it's difficult just to have new coaches in spring, but you're doing it late in summer. Just talk about how you get everybody meshing and on the page you want them to be.
Well, it's difficult. It's difficult, but, we didn't choose a lot of these things that have happened, but they've happened. And so, we've got to roll with the punches, and we've got to adapt and overcome and do the best we can. So Coach Snyder and Coach Johnson, they really didn't get board approved until July. And so we were able to bring them in after they were board approved and start attending workouts. And so Coach Johnson is teaching in the special ed department, and he's going to do an outstanding job first in the classroom. And he brings youth and excitement with this group. So does Blake Snyder. And so they're great additions to our team.
Well, the three players address your opener. I don't think that Munford's played Oxford probably since your father's little bit. I think it was like in the mid-'70s when they played.
73, 74 were the last two seasons.
And Oxford obviously over this way is the big band. With the players, and they're so close to where you are, so I'm sure you guys know their guys and they know you and all that stuff. But what are the players' thoughts on playing them anytime, but especially in the open? And just go down the line for that.
Can I address that first?
Absolutely.
The Coach Herring does an outstanding job. His father is a legend there and won state championships. Coach Herring, this last 2 years, they've done a phenomenal job. They have an outstanding staff. Lee Osment and I were teammates in Alabama. He played real football. I was a punter, but he did an outstanding job as a head coach.
How old I am, I covered him when he was a high school player.
Okay. And he was outstanding in high school, did a great job in Alabama. But Coach Herring has put together an outstanding staff. Obviously, their coaches probably triple us in numbers. But Oxford City School really puts a high premium on their athletics. And it's a great school system. But they return a lot of starters. They've got probably the number one offensive lineman in the Southeast. And they've got, one of the top-rated Mike backers with multiple SEC offers. They've got a great
LSU, I think,
committed to LSU. And so they got a great nucleus of players coming back from an outstanding season last year. So, we're probably a 28 to 35 point underdog going into that game, and so we're going to show up. We're going to play hard for Munford community. So, Pernell, you want to
guys give me the emotional side of playing those guys right up the street?
They're a good team. We know what they're capable of, but we're just gonna go out there, do our thing, and just play ball. Just whatever happens. We're just gonna go out there with character. Just do what we do.
I mean, it's just another game. First one of the week, first one on the schedule. I know that the guys behind me are gonna give 110%, so it's gonna be a physical battle.
It's all about confidence that week, playing a bigger school. So we just gotta come in ready and prepared and just play loose.
Just to ask, you guys don't have any hooks into them at all? Like y'all didn't go to Oxford schools when you were a little kid and then end up going to Munford or any of that stuff? None of you guys have any of that connects, do you?
I actually went to Oxford from 8th grade to my 10th grade year, and I transferred back home after the second semester of my 10th grade year.
So there's more of a hook in there for you than...
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's more than just another game, probably.
Yes, sir.
To my knowledge, these guys have always gone to Munford.
For the players, does that game have a little bit more juice with having one of your former guys on the other side playing against you?
Yes, sir, by far.
Zay and Warren Britt are outstanding young men. We love them. We wish them nothing but the best. And but that's really all I'm going to comment on. We wish him well.
How do you replace that production coach? Or how do you try to anyway?
I don't know if we can replace it. We'll try to adapt. Maybe our personality may be a little different. Where maybe we may run the ball more, maybe a short passing game, the ability to stretch the field. I mean, when you got a young man that's 2 times All-State and Max Prep All-American, has probably 7 offers, and if he were 5'10", 5'11", he'd have multiple SEC offers right now. That's coming straight from an Alabama coach and a Clemson coach, and so the ability to stretch the field vertically, we're going to have to, and he was extremely valuable also as a punt returner and a kick returner. So much so that in the last couple of years, people literally would just punt the ball out of bounds for a 15, 20-yard punt and be happy about it. And so normally you get frustrated when you have a 15, 20-yard net punt, but a lot of teams would do that on purpose. So next man up, Ethan Swinford has had an outstanding summer in our 7-on-7s. His leadership has gotten stronger in the weight room, and he's one of our receivers. LJ has picked up the mantle at our Z receiver and done an outstanding job. And we've got some guys coming back with some playing experience, but we'll also have a lot of youth and with some 9th and 10th graders sprinkled in. So the short answer, getting around it the long way, is I don't know.
The HSA a couple days ago passed a rule, and that was for non-varsity as far as the kicking game. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it essentially gives the coaches of both teams options in the kicking game to simulate kicks, to eliminate it altogether, or just to play it as is. As a coach has been around here in varsity football for forever, and there's talks in college about tweaking the special teams. Where do you see all this going as it relates to injuries and the safety for players in general?
Well, Gerhard, I'm starting my 27th year, and I know you were thinking 15, but it's 27. I was a punter, so there is a move in the National Football, in the Federation, possibly to wipe out kicking game because of maybe a higher rate of injuries on punt returners and kick returners. And if you wipe that out, my dream of playing for the University of Alabama would have been wiped out if I had to stay 5 years to get to finally start my senior year at punter. And so you're talking about NFL careers, you're talking about college careers being altered or changed. I don't think that's going to happen in the next year or two. But, when by the time these guys are in college, and they're still maybe talking about eliminating the kickoff return or starting a college game or a high school game on the 25-yard line. Now, that being said, I don't have the coaching staff numbers to have a JV coaching staff. So our varsity coaches coach our freshmen, 10th graders, 11th graders that are on the JV. We don't have the time or the manpower to be greatly coached up, especially early in the JV season on the kicking game. So a lot of times, it's already been implemented as far as it's an agreement between the coaches. We're going to have a 35-yard punt, or maybe we do a free kick. Maybe we line up in the kicking formation and kick it, and then it goes to the 25-yard line, or it's a 35-yard punt. So those things have already been done a little bit, but they're talking about maybe even implementing them on the varsity level. But I'm a purist. I would hate to see it, because that's a third of the game. And so we prided ourselves on the last couple of years, and really my whole head coaching career. This will be my 10th year as a head coach. I love the kicking game. So if we always try to get an advantage, through practicing a punt block, or maybe a fake punt, or a reverse on a kickoff, or reverse on the punt, or something like that. So I would hate to see that altered or changed.
The open kickoff determines the game.
It makes a statement.
Okay, that wraps up the session with the Munford High School Lions. We want to thank Coach Bill Smith and players that are representing the Munford High School Lions today. Wish them luck this season, and especially in their opener against Oxford on the 24th of August. Next up will be our final team of the 7th Annual Talladega County Coaches Association High School Football Media Day, the Alabama School for the Deaf Silent Warriors.